What if the love story that once ended with a fairy tale kiss never truly ended at all? What if the woman in red, standing tall in the penthouse, and the man climbing the fire escape with flowers still had more of their story to tell? After 3 decades, Pretty Woman isn't just a memory. It's a promise being reborn. And fans aren't just feeling excited, they're stunned. Because Vivian and Edward might be returning, not just to Hollywood, but to each other. When Pretty Woman was released in 1990, no one expected it to become a global phenomenon. It wasn't just a love story, it was a cultural moment. Vivian Ward, played by Julia Roberts, wasn't your typical romantic lead. She was bold, funny, and far from the high-class world Edward Lewis lived in. Edward, portrayed by Richard Gere, was a cold, successful businessman used to getting his way. But when these two collided, something magical happened on screen. Audiences around the world instantly fell in love with them. Vivian wasn't just waiting to be saved, she made Edward rethink everything about his life. She challenged him. She made him laugh. She showed him that happiness isn't bought with money, it's felt in the heart. And Edward, who started out as distant and closed off, slowly began to change. He didn't just fall for Vivian's looks, he saw her soul. He respected her strength. And in that now famous ending, when he climbs the fire escape to win her back, fans believed love really could conquer class, status, and the past. That one kiss on the balcony wasn't just romantic hit, was unforgettable. It became the image of hope for every fan who ever wished for a second chance or a better ending in real life. And while many romantic comedies came and went over the years, Pretty Woman never faded. It remained the gold standard of romance. Every generation that watched it discovered something new: how laughter, trust, and bravery could bring two different worlds together. Vivian became an icon. Her red dress, her laugh, her walk down Rodeo Drive in that stunning outfit. She didn't just change herself, she made audiences believe they could change too. And Edward? He became the man every woman wanted, not because he was rich, but because he listened, learned, and loved deeply by the end. So when whispers of a sequel began to surface, the world stopped. Could these two really come back? What happened after the kiss? Did their love survive the test of time, or did life pull them apart? These questions have stayed in fans' hearts for 30 years. Now, with Pretty Woman 2 making headlines, one thing is clear: this isn't just a movie returning, it's a piece of our youth, a dream coming back to life. And if Vivian and Edward truly reunite on screen, it's not just nostalgia, it's a chance to fall in love all over again. She walks into the room in heels, not just any heels, but the ones fans recognize instantly. And across the room? Edward, older, softer, but his eyes still search for hers. That's not just fan fiction anymore, it's happening. Pretty Woman 2 is real. And what's inside the trailer has left fans speechless. This isn't just a sequel, it's a twist no one saw coming. For years, fans hoped. Then they gave up. And just when everyone thought the story was over, the official trailer dropped like a thunderclap across the internet. Julia Roberts is back, Richard Gere is back. But they aren't just smiling in memory. They're playing Vivian and Edward. Again, only now, the story feels deeper, more complicated, and full of grown-up truth. The first glimpse of the trailer shows a quiet cityscape. A black car pulls up outside a small classic building. A woman steps out, dressed in elegant red. The camera tilts up slowly, and it's her, Vivian Ward, older, yes. But that same spark is in her eyes. She's not just beautiful, she's powerful. This time, she's not coming to be rescued. She's walking like a woman who made her own choices and paid her own price. Then the real shock. Edward Lewis, gray hair, softer eyes. But when he looks up and sees her, there's a beat a second frozen in time. In the background, soft piano. Music plays a slowed-down version of Pretty Woman. It's not loud. It's emotional, heavy, and fans instantly know this isn't a comedy. It's a story about what happens after the fairy tale ends. Rumors confirm the film is not a reboot, it's a true sequel. The plot hints at lost time, separation, and rediscovery. Edward is no longer the powerful corporate king. The trailer shows him in what looks like a hospital or clinic, possibly caring for a sick relative, or maybe he's the one healing. Meanwhile, Vivian is shown speaking to young women in group sessions, maybe mentoring, maybe helping others walk a path she once walked herself, the most unexpected part. A young woman appears in several shots with fiery red hair and striking eyes. Fans are already guessing, is she their daughter? Is she part of a life Edward never knew? Could she be the reason Vivian and Edward are drawn together again? The supporting cast has surprised everyone. A-list actors and newcomers blend into this new chapter. There's a mysterious business rival, a wise older woman played by a Hollywood legend, and even hints of an old friend from the first film making a brief return. Fans were quick to take to TikTok and X, Twitter, post.ng frame-by-frame breakdowns of the trailer. Theories flew. Was Vivian hiding something all these years? Did Edward leave her, or did life just pull them in different directions? Why does every glance in the trailer carry so much emotion, so much regret? What's clear is that this sequel isn't trying to copy the magic of the original. Instead, it dares to ask, what if real love doesn't always stay perfect, but still finds its way back? That's the kind of story that can make an audience cry in silence. And just like that, Pretty Woman 2 has gone from rumor to reality. It's no longer a what if, it's happening. And fans are already preparing themselves for joy, heartbreak, and the kind of emotional journey they never thought they'd take again with Vivian and Edward. Asterisk, she once waited on a street corner, unsure of where her life would go. Now she stands in front of a crowd, confident, respected, and changed. This isn't the same Vivian we knew, and that's what makes her story more powerful than ever. But as fate would have it, just when she finally built a life without him, Edward returns. And this time, it's not to save her, it's to ask if she still believes in love after all these years. Asterisk in Pretty Woman 2, Vivian Ward isn't a girl trying to escape her past. She's a woman who already did. The sequel trailer shows us a version of Vivian that feels real wiser, more grounded, and deeply proud of who she became. Far from the girl who once took a ride in a stranger's Lotus, she now owns her own space, her voice, and her future. She didn't marry a billionaire. She didn't climb the social ladder for status. Instead, she chose purpose. The trailer gives U.S. glimpses of her teaching at what seems to be a women's center, her voice calm, strong, and honest. She tells young girls that no one saves you but yourself. And in that moment, we understand Vivian became the hero of her own story. Her life, though full, is not untouched by pain. The warm, happy smiles she shares with others don't always reach her eyes. There are hints in the trailer, quiet pauses, long stares into the mirror that suggest she still holds a space in her heart for someone who never fully left it. And just as we begin to feel her strength and independence, the camera cuts to a familiar figure walking back into frame. Edward. He doesn't return as the perfect man. He returns with guilt, time behind him, and eyes that carry years of unsaid things. Something happened. Maybe they tried to make it work. Maybe they lost each other in the noise of their separate lives. But what matters is he's back now. And he's not here to fix her. He's here because he's broken too. Edward's storyline shows a man who spent years chasing the wrong kind of success. The power, the money, the deals, it all meant less when Vivian was no longer by his side. A scene in the trailer shows him holding an old photo, his hands shaking slightly. Another moment shows him walking slowly through a quiet street at night. The same kind where he once found her years ago. Except now, it's not about rescue, it's about redemption. Their reunion isn't loud. It's quiet, full of awkward silences and eyes that say more than words. He asks if she ever thought about him. She doesn't answer. She just looks away, her jaw tight. But then she offers him coffee. And fans know that's all the answer he needs. This part of the story isn't about fairy tale romance anymore. It's about choices, timing, and how people grow. Vivian didn't wait for Edward. She grew without him. But the heart doesn't always move on just because the mind tells it to. And Edward? He didn't come back expecting forgiveness. He came back because after all these years, he finally understands what love means. Not control, not gifts, but being there. Being honest. Being real. The power of Pretty Woman 2 lies in this moment when the girl who once needed saving stands strong, and the man who once had everything realizes what he truly lost. It's not just about falling in love again. It's about asking, do two people who once changed each other forever still have something left to share? And the way they look at each other says, maybe they do. One trailer. A few seconds of silence. A single glance between two older lovers. That was all it took to set the internet on fire. But this isn't just another sequel, it's a story touching something deep in all of us. Because when Vivian and Edward return, it's not just about their ending, it's about ours too. What if love real, messy, imperfect love never really dies? Asterisk, the moment the trailer for Pretty Woman 2 dropped, social media exploded. TikTok was flooded with emotional edits. Twitter, or X, became a flood of quotes, tears, and wild guesses. Instagram lit up with tribute reels, and YouTube fan breakdowns. Thousands of views in hours. It wasn't just excitement, it was a cultural storm, because after 30 years, Vivian and Edward were back. And they weren't just characters anymore, they were reflections of something fans held close. The idea that even lost love can find its way home. Some fans wept just seeing Julia Roberts walk down that hall in red again. Others paused the trailer. At every frame, searching for clues in their expressions, trying to read the tension between them. Is that regret in Edward's eyes? Is that love or fear in Vivian's silence? Each detail became a puzzle piece in a bigger mystery. Will this story have a happy ending? Or a real one? Speculation runs wild. One of the most popular theories says the daughter figure seen in the trailer is Edward's, but not Vivian's. Could she be the reason they reunite? Or the reason they stay apart? Others believe the daughter is theirs, kept secret for years, and now ready to meet the father who never knew her. One scene even shows Vivian wiping tears from her eyes as she watches a young woman walk away. It's brief but powerful. Fans are calling it the moment the whole sequel might revolve around. Another theory focuses on a ring. In one trailer shot, Edward holds a ring box in his hand, but his expression isn't joy, it's sorrow. Could the story take a tragic turn? Is he sick? Is this his goodbye? Or is it his way of finally doing what he couldn't the first time, offering more than just a penthouse night and a limo ride? Not all fans agree. Some are nervous. A few say the sequel might ruin the magic of the original. They worry that the fairy tale should have stayed untouched. But others argue that Pretty Woman was never just a fairy tale, it was a story about second chances. About people from different worlds discovering something rare and real. And if that's the case, then showing what happens after the kiss is more honest than ever. What everyone seems to agree on is this. The tone of the sequel is mature, softer, less about grand gestures, more about quiet truths. The glitz is still there, but behind it is something deeper: time, loss, and the cost of choices, and that's why this sequel matters. It isn't just about Vivian and Edward anymore, it's about us. About anyone who's ever wondered if they let the right person go. About anyone who built a life on their own, but still sometimes dreams of what might have been. It's about love flawed, aging, tested but still burning quietly underneath everything else. As the final scene in the trailer fades out. With Vivian and Edward standing inches apart and not saying a word, fans are left breathless. Because sometimes silence speaks louder than promises. The love story that once ended in a kiss may now end in something even more powerful, a choice. And fans everywhere are waiting, not just to see what happens, but to feel it one last time.